Welcome back to the channel, y'all. Today I'm going to show you guys how I made this skin on skin and X Club style drop. Yo, let me know in the comment section down below if you like this drop. It's a free FLP, which means the first link in the description will bring you to the download file for this. Without further ado, let's break down how we made this. So I'm actually going to start with the iconic sound that you all hear. Now what you want to go ahead and do is get this free plugin called Rave Generator. It comes with a bunch of stabs that has all these samples that you're just looking for. This Hardcore Hoover is one that Skin on Skin and X Club used for this song. Anyway, you can see, and I've layered it with this other sample here. T99 Anastasia for a little bit of personal. Anyway, it's a free plugin. There's no reason for you not to check it out. So I've just made this little pattern here. We're at 135 BPM to make it really fast, really interesting. In terms of the effects, a tiny bit of reverb using 3D Convolver, some OTT with a little bit of depth and just boosting the highs and mids, and then in the parametrics EQ, as you can see, we are deleting all of the bass and below. We don't want that in this. A love filter for the build-up, where you can hear that it is slowly coming in. You'll see on the cutoff frequency. So that's that iconic sound out of the way. We have added our own bass, which is actually one of the basses from my SERUM pack, Metamorphosis. You can check it out in the description of this video. It's over 65 presets, just like this one. Anyway, check it out. A really dirty, sort of bitey kind of sound. In terms of the frequencies, we are only playing the bass to mids. Everything that we have just kind of cut off with the sample. So it's merely a supporting layer in this case. But as you can see, these are two modulated saw waves, one with about almost 50% sync, gritty tech house kind of sound. A little bit of noise, but then everything's going into a EQ here that's getting rid of all these high frequencies. Alright, let's move on to the thick sub that we got going on, guys. It sounds like this. Following the exact same pattern as the Rave Generator, except now we've just lengthened the notes. What you can do is Command A and then Command L, which will just lengthen all the notes so they touch the start of the next one. This is also from my Metamorphosis pack, so this is a sub in the pack that you can go ahead and check out. So those layer together to sound like this. Anyway, the key here is to kind of get that warm feeling, and that's really what our sub is doing, just pushing so much air. Now, in the second part of the drop, as you can hear, we've got things completely switched up. Check it out. We'll get into the reason why, but we've changed the kick for this part. So, with a shorter kick, we now have a lot more space to play around with the sub, which when you're playing with octaves really creates that energy, makes it more bass house sounding. So we got an octave up, octave down, up, down, up, down. Now, let's get into the drums then. You might be wondering, this kick, man, it sounds so cool, it's kind of techno-y. Here you go. It is indeed very techno-y. This kick and a lot of the drums in this video come from my free drum kit, MADLOUD, which is also linked in the description. Usually we break down a kick like this. We've got all the high end in the beginning, then some mids, and then everything over here, that's just sub frequencies. You can see by the length of the wavelength here, that is all sub frequencies. Let me solo this. The danger here is that we have also a sub, as you know, in there. So what we've done is created a separate sidechain specifically for the sub, for that to come in a lot later than everything else does. So here's our regular sidechain, which is just pretty balanced on one of the mixer channels. This sub chain, as I call it, is just a side chain for the sub, which is on the mixer channel for the sub, another fruity balance, all the way only coming in once the fucking sub from the kick is done. Even the keen-eyed people might have noticed that in the second part of the drop, we do not have this sub chain. And that's because we have a shorter kick. Let's talk about this shorter kick in the second part. This is another kick from my free drum kit, MADLOUD. We've just boosted and clipped it a little bit, make it very punchy. It's much shorter, as you can see. The sub kind of goes till about here. See now how that makes sense, that we could play around with the sub way more. Just messing about with different segments of your drop, making it so unique, making it so surprising to the listener, that's key. Let's talk about our hats. First, we've got this sort of filler hat. Without the effects, it sounds like this. But I wanted to create texture here, so what I've done, I've used Convolver to just slightly make some reverb to the sound, and then also I'm using the ring effect on the effector to create this sort of like rattlesnake texture. And then our secondary hat, which is kind of our main hat here, just a very crunchy sounding, kicking all that high treble that we are, just free real estate. Next up, we've got this texture building hat that's kind of hitting the mids, using a sound goodizer to just kind of punch those frequencies through a little bit more. And now all these hats are compressed together. Texture, warmth, compression. Really not much of a clap, it's just kind of a layer, a top layer I suppose, because it's way reverbed out. Using 3 walls, I decided to play with a fruity reverb here, because you can change the diffusion amounts. So using a 3-walled room, 4-walled room, etc., all the way up to like realistic reverb, but 3-walled room sounds really interesting to me. Just kind of creative liberty here. Alright, and the last thing that we're layering drums wise, because now we are using a different kick, we can add more texture to it. I've got this top loop that's functioning mostly as a hat, but this little tiny bit here is actually adding a lot to the kick. That's the drums. Lastly, we have this vocal here.
Take me beyond the places that we know. Don't look back. Bliss is all around, round.
And we're just playing with the delay automation to kind of repeat that around word, and then just wanted that sort of moan sound to play in the drop. Because Skin on Skin and X Club, they play with like vocal breaths and moans and whatever, so I thought, yeah, sounds kind of cool. Guys, what do you think? At the end of the video, I'm just going to play this drop once more for you to enjoy it. You watched it all the way through the end, which means a lot to me. If you could do one last thing and check that you're not already subscribed, because we're trying to get to 2.5k, we are this close. I can't wait. We have a Discord community, which you could check. It's linked in the description of this video. It's poppin'. I think that about rounds it up. Thanks again for watching, and peace!